Assalamualaikum, welcome back. It's another day, and today I want to write the script a little bit for this debug tool that I have and have been using for my project for pretty much since the beginning. It's a very helpful tool that just makes things much easier to work with when you need to do things frame by frame. And the script is just called frame. It's an auto load script with just a button that activates it. So space. Okay. So I want to mention let's see. I'm working on this project. I'm working on affecting the game. The most one of the most important things is frame data. But how do we... One second. I don't remember this. I thought I was able to do a frame-by-frame mode using the godot's engine, having something. I don't remember. Yeah, okay. Doesn't really matter what I have open, but that's would be the code. Okay. How do we do this? Well, we can for godot. We can use the sim3 and tree. to think a frame by frame program. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we need to do is make a node that I believe has to always be, I forget how the process inheritance is. A node that raises the game. Okay. Script. Mm-hmm. What we need is something that raises the game, but still allows us to control it in some ways, like giving input by only inputs one frame at a time. You're supposed to stay always on top. Why does it keep shrinking? I should mention that I never actually made this function in full. I might have edited it a little bit, but this was given to me by someone who I asked for help and was more knowledgeable with the game engine. But the key thing that two key things for godot, there are two key things for this. One, a node's process mode, and two, the inventory. Scene and scene. Scene is a word that seems nearly impossible to spell. Hmm. Do I understand the scene tree enough to really explain what's happening? It shouldn't be this one. This one. Probably not this one either. Just go back here. We can use the scene. Actually, maybe I should grab the scene tree and just like properties and pause this one. Property. Pause to freeze the game. Then we can unpause the game for one frame at a time when we want to progress it. So encode. I just have mine. This is the pause script. Yeah. Okay. It's not really a lot here. Okay. Could also put these in. Okay. What we will realize when we pause the scene, if we try to make this, we will find that we can pause it, but not unpause. This is where the process mode comes in. For something to work when the scene tree is paused, its process mode must be changed from default type. Okay, is this necessary? Why did I have that? Is that why I had? Interesting. Interesting. I have just noticed that there's a bug here. A logic error, technically. Um, Very interesting. Should I be surprised by this one, though? Let me think about why does this make... So first off, it doesn't make sense because they're hitting the same entity twice. But why could it make sense that this is the reason? Why is it happening? The script for hurt boxes doesn't have anything, and the script for an attack, I believe, has less, or an active hitbox, sorry, has less. It is, but I don't know why it's doing this. Uh, This is the only one that actually has like hit exceptions. So this doesn't have any way to make an exception to an attack. So why doesn't it just hit the same thing like a ton of times? Weird. Maybe it does. Wait, no, it's on entered, not repeated. Okay. I guess that makes sense, yeah, because technically it enters twice, but it doesn't actually have any problems before that. Or when it actually has exceptions. Does this projectile have exceptions set up? I think it's just calling the same function for damage as it was for the previous one. Or the parent. Okay. I have that line for a different reason rather than uh, the frame by frame mode. It's a workaround to keep the frame by frame mode enabled when the hit stop is activated. Because for me, the hit stop actually unpauses the scene tree because it pauses it in the first place. So having frame by frame mode as a variable allows me to work around that limitation. Uh, mm-hmm. Alt type. Yep. And back to it. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is to this code pauses and unpauses only. And then if we want to progress exactly one frame, I don't fully get this one. Let me look into, oh wait, of course it doesn't. need to unpause. Oh, and then wait till everything is processed for that frame. Then we can pause it again. So we can use the keyword await. To do this. And then the code. That is a bit more done. This code is in progress by line. Code assumptions. Enter one space. You have you know how to use an input button for your engine. Are there any other ones that like have you have an input system? Yeah, and we shape layer inputs and organize it in the input history. Okay. Alrighty. Now I need to learn about Curve 2D. I'm going to make a new scene entirely for this thing. 2D scene, 2D, path, 2D, path, follow 2D. Only works when set the child of a path 2D node. So path and path follow and curve don't have a lot to do. What? Uh, okay, sure, I guess. So it has two on the middle. Wait, let me just change this to 2. Let me change this to 20 then. Let me change this to 20 as well. Position 20 and 0. Sure. What is happening? Alright, let me work with one element actually. That's at 2020. Now it's here. Add an element. I now have a line. This is currently set to position 0. Let me change this to 100 for x. Okay. And negative 15y. Huh? I pressed add element again. Bezier curves. I think I forgot about that point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, by Bezier curve. Okay. Add a position. Currently it's set to 0, 0. Let's move it to some other place. Its position is pretty much set. This is a position 1 as well. Yes. Okay. Then this in and out thing, I don't get 20. Well, if those are just like the opposite of each other, why change one? Oh, you can twist it on itself. I see. Okay, this is interesting. Cool. Let me add something. Instead, add child node as sprite 2D, and then give this as a child to that. Let's add texture, quick load, the godot icon, shrink this down. Not mean the entire node, I just meant this one. 0.2. Okay. Transform 5 times? Sure. F. Okay. If I run this, what happens? I want to call this test curves. And then it should go into the testings. Save. Stop. Run the currency. Yeah. Okay. I believe I need to. I think I just got a set cam node somewhere. Sure. Just run it, right? Then camera. Okay. Hear that. Adding camera. It's like a very simple workaround. I don't. Okay, the curve has done nothing. Also, I should not have scaled it down so much. Reset. Save. It's probably affected it. Yep. Okay. All right. If I go to 2D and I change the progress, I guess. Okay. Progress ratio 0.5. Sure. If I run this, what happens? Nothing. Is this supposed to be like this? Reset. That thing went missing. Reset. 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 Nothing. Okay. Progress ratio 0.5, 70. Yeah, if I do rotates off and just sets this to 0, and this to reset its rotation. That's a little weird that it's like that. I guess let me check if I change the progress ratio to 0.5, then turn on rotates, then turn off rotates. This rotated and doesn't unrotate. Okay, cool. That's something. Position, if I reset this, but the progress ratio is 0.5. If I do 0.5 again, okay, what about 0.6? Okay, and then back to 0.5. Okay. This seems pretty good for something. Cubic interpolation. Wait. So when it comes to scripts, puzzle, yeah, search, search help, curve, 2D, describes a Bezier curve. Hmm. It's just telling me getting the curves. Return the position of the control point leading to the vertex IDX. This returns relative to the vertex IDX. Obtains this is an error and returns 0, 0. I don't know what I care about. Okay, let's go to the distance documentation. Looping interpolate, H offset, loop, V offset, progress ratio, rotates, those are all things. Loop, sure. Is there a way to start this? The points along the path of pre-computed before use for faster calculations. H offset gives the nodes offset along the curve. Nodes offset perpendicular to the curve. If I go to 2D and offset this from the curve, let's say, me this as well. This to be offset by that. And then I turn on rotates. Okay, I thought I'd do this. Oh, it's the first pass needs to actually go that way. Okay. Yep, okay. Now if I do the progress ratio, slowly increasing, it just rotates with the rotations, or turns that rotate it. Okay. Back to the documentation. Let's look at the documentation for path 2D. Set curve value getter setter describing a path. Really, that's it? Uh, as such, the curve should usually start with vector 0, 0. The path is considered relative to the moved nodes. So that curve 2D should be starting with the getter and setter. Curve, curve 2D, it has point count and bake interval. Okay, but like, how do I know what those points are? Hmm. The follow path part is also something. How do I start these? Let me just add a simple script then. Path 2D. Yeah. Not behavior based. Nope. Extends. Path 2D. Shifts at export path var path path var. Save it. Um, process. I need a function of this. Process delta. And then path dot progress ratio plus equals 0.1 or 0.001. Save, run it just to see what happens. Not this scene. This scene. It moves and it's not actually terribly slow. Cool. If the path is set to loop, what happens? I don't actually know if that updated. Oh, it stopped. So if I turn on loop, it'll start again. Yes. Okay. I can already see it. About how this thing will work very well for projectiles. My goodness. So I guess that's the basic functionality. The progress ratio, it just tells us how far along you want it to move. But how do I... Curve makes all the points. Mm, well, this is the same thing. Um, can you take in a curve? There's ease types, but I don't see anything that says curve. On Control F, curve. No, and did I spell it right? Yeah, I did spell curve right, so maybe not? Okay. Hmm. How does it change the projectile tool script? Does it mean I make the path separate? So right now, imagine this is our projectile. If the node moves, which would be our player, this would need to be the thing that's top level, or I guess this would be the frame, so frame quotation marks, because it's not really, oh, okay, frame, I guess that works, frame, rename, projectile parent with top level, and the thing that follows the path goes on here. If I put this here, what happens? It doesn't move. Epic. Okay, okay, okay. Mm, Now, I guess the other option is how do I get this to move along the path in a specific number of frames? So let me add a frame timer, I guess. I have new child frame timer thing that takes in a value that's like start timer, and then if it's stopped or not. F frames left. I guess I could use this, kind of. So then you would export your frame timer. And then would I export a total time? Well, the projectile technically has a timer already if I go back to the test player and one of the attacks with the projectile. We have a timer on it, and the projectile itself has a stop frames, at distance, active frames. It has an active frames number. So instead I could get the active frames from the projectile. So this would essentially be the projectile. Uh, Let me just actually add a projectile. Add child, no, actually it has functionality for this. Timer, frame timer. Uh, sure, attached to entity, attack data, load something. Active frames, facing right, hitbox, add hitbox, button. Are you not a tool script? Let me restart godot because I think the tool script thing is another thing that might need to be restarted. Um, Shit doesn't really work ever. Yeah, okay. Okay, delete, delete. Nope, that's not getting rid of the error. Add projectile area. Let me run this script and see what is it trying to grab that it's just not working. Ready, super dot ready. Get children, yep. Attack, manager, area, enter. On ready, attack manager, control F. Damage isn't being pulled. Fix color, add new hitbox, circulation shape. Yeah, no, I think it's nothing to do with it being a tool script and there's no attack manager set up. Alright, let me. Yeah, I think it just needs to restart the scene, not restart. X names, reading, attack. There is a unnecessary repeating frame stuff. Control. The microphone decided to mute, and I don't know why. I didn't even try. Okay. Oh, sure. I guess. Add a projectile. Invalid access to is facing right on objective type nil. Yeah, I guess. Sure. Host. I can't assign itself. Dang it. Attack manager doesn't care. Yeah, so. Okay. No, you just. Okay. Um, Just want to see. This has the attached to entities button, and in its script, on ready if it's attached or it's not, change its top level. And this would be the top level of this specific thing. If I changed it, I would have to change it to the projectile parent. This thing, you think? Total frames, I probably don't want to do this, but I could export projectile, or actually, objects, and then this would be node. Wait, how does a path work on a layer? Um, hmm, I'm not sure. This is definitely going to need more exploration because the thing is just not simple. Yet, I also am not 100% sure on what properties would make sense for the path to do right now. Hmm, what kind of pathing do I want? I kind of want to turn this into an animate function rather than a just like a thing that's attached to a projectile. Because I need this to kind of work for both the projectiles and the players' entities, or anything else really. So then, how would I do that, per se? Let's write it out, I guess, then. Because if you write things out, you can make it much easier on yourself. So, I know I have an animate somewhere here. There are ways to animate. Position animation, look into Curve 2D. Yeah, okay, we'll look into that a little bit. Um, key thing, pixel, key thing, Curve 2D is edited in the editor. Progress ratio, progress, and progress ratio are ways to measure final for how long I need this to connect to the timer. The animation should connect to a timer, but not set the values as is. Versus appreciation, how long the path. I need to connect this to a timer, but not set the values. So I can animate both projectiles and entities. Alrighty. I think that's the main thing. If I can set the path to the entity. I also need a way to cancel this. I need a way to cancel it, as well as set the start point to the start of the object. At least that's what I believe I need to do. Right now this means have a kill function. Um, okay. What happens after I have a stun or an animation tool that works well? What do I have left? I've already done like the basic world building portion. Um, I've done the world building portion. I know what the general story is. I know a few traits of the main character to define the attacks. I could make the characters' attacks a little bit. They can do anything fun and interesting. Trying to make some combos. Oh, I need to set up controller support properly as well. I guess I can come later. Button changing. I should do more tests with the controller as well, because I currently don't have it tested enough. I haven't even gotten it to work, because Ubuntu just doesn't work as well as Windows for some things. Because many things are built for Windows and Mac, but not other operating systems. Okay, are there any other things for looking at the curve 2D? If I can cancel my animation, I can start my animation. Do I need a start animation function? Some functions, name, start animation, get progress. start and end animation. Um, reset values, reset position. These would probably be under the ready function, kind of. Um, some export. The object timer, probably frame timer. Uh, do I put the duration on the animation? Can I extend a resource as well, actually? I could probably extend a resource. I wouldn't be too surprised if I couldn't. Because if I look at the projectile, right now there's a speed and a timer, active frames, and entity attached to entity. Those things will change, probably. So for sure, the timer, or the attached to entity would just not be that, because it would probably go to one of the path nodes. Speed facing right. Ooh. I guess it would be speed in general then? Mm. I think that's all for now to help me understand that I need to do things. I do remember I need to fix some things I need at some point, so I should get to that soon. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna end it here. I hope this was of benefit. Wasama.